Hello everybody and welcome back to your Simraceway AWD Championship for race number 2 here from the Area 51 circuit. My name's Liam Jenkins and I'll be calling all of the action for you here from the very spooky Area 51. One thing that could be very well spooky was Lolin Fox's qualifying pace. He took pole position in a demanding fashion. Question is, can he convert it into a victory? Let's find out. As the lights go green, we're racing already. Big start by the majority of the drivers. The question is, can they keep this up into that very tricky first corner? They'll swerve in for the left, minding the catch fence on the inside, and it's all been pretty clean up front at the moment. Still Fox leads. Big lunge by B1386 and Devil Bevin. You can see those guys there, those two red Evos, as Devil Bevin up the inside. And I think maybe that's cut short. He barely holds on to second. He's back down to fourth, in fact. As Luke Sky 80 goes very wide and luckily recovers. Through the tunnel they go for the first time today. And still Lolin Fox with that lead. The rest of the field scrambling around behind, trying to get a sense of momentum as Tomcat 458 defending from Luke Sky is going to do a bit more than that, because going wide of that corner is only going to cause misery, and indeed it does. Luke Sky just about able to pull through around the outside of the following corner, and that will cement his drive into looking a bit further forward. So 16 laps we've got here of the Area 51 circuit today, as Cortese's all over the back of the pole sitter right now. B1386 is not too far adrift either. Onto this short little burst of a straight right now, and Cortese attacking Lolin Fox, but we'll do maybe a bit more work. I think we're still at the very early stages of this one. We've got B13, Gravity, Devil Bevin, Kappa Bomber, Lazarus and PA, who could be getting overtaken there by King Dio if they're not careful. Dio's got a pretty impressive run going up towards the inside. In fact, he's going to try the manoeuvre. I think he's a bit too far away for it to stick, however. And indeed, that very much is the case. And now PA trying to go around the outside of Lazarus. Now that's going to be pretty intriguing. They were almost collected each other there. There wasn't much room separating them at all from the catch fence and the corner. But they crossed the line to start lap number 2 out of 16. And this is where things start to really improve. Now probably one of the... Oh, and a big move there out of nowhere. Sees King Dio separate them. They're almost 3 wide. Dio on the outside going to the next corner. Big burst of smoke. Oh, and there's spinners everywhere. We've got B13's off, Gravity's off, PA slams into the fence and is upside down. Huge accident indeed. Tomcat scrapes the fence. So out of nowhere, these drivers have pretty much all been segregated. A big accident indeed. Gravity apologising, taking the fault for that one, it seems. Now towards the left-hander, take a look at still what Dio's doing. He's still P6. And I think B13 is trying to sweep it round and hold on. The two Red Evos battle away in the early stages. And I think this circuit really is so demanding. Yes, there's no elevation changes, but it offers such a complexity of different track widths. 1 minute it's so tight, the next minute is wide enough for 6, maybe 7 Evos perhaps to pull alongside as Dio gets into the fencing yet again. And a big commanding lead now taken already by G. Cortese. It's going to be a very exciting couple of moments for him then. He's got a 5-second gap at the moment, as we say, over Devil Bevin. Lazarus P3, Bomber 4, Dio up to 5th. It's definitely been the main mover and shaker of the past few minutes. So a quick run through of the order as I make their way down the main straight. So the top 5 we've just read out. 6th place B13, 7th Luke Sky 80, 8th place is Litos 76, still under attack there from Tomcat 458. Bolina's 10th, our teammates in 11th with Gravity still pushing, trying to turn his race around. He's trying to get to the inside and he may actually get that one done. In fact, he does. He's got the pace to be a midfield competitor. He's proven that not just in qualifying, but in the very rich start he had as well, as he makes his way on towards lap number 3 of 16. A big moment there for Litos as Tomcat tries to maybe navigate his way through, but still no avail just yet. Through the little tunnel they go, and there's a nice quartet forming up actually there. Just noticed, that's B13 King Dio, the P6, P5, and just in front of those as Dio looks to the inside of Kappa Bomber. And no avail yet, but it's all being held up by the man in third place, and that is still currently Lazarus 16. He's not done too badly this afternoon so far in the opening quarter or so of this race. And Lolin Fox is retired. So the pole sitter out of the race. Very worrying indeed. We'll see if we can bring you some information on that as and when it arrives to us, as right there you just saw a pass. That's King Dio going round the outside. So Dio, I think, was about 9th at the start of this race, is now it's a P4, so definitely the big mover and shaker of the first stint. However, Kappa Bomb is trying to come right back at him, and still to no avail just this moment in time. We've got a car, interestingly, off there. Now, that is been recovered, I think. It actually belongs to Mr. PA. Now, PA's stopped. The rear spoiler has gone. This was a lap ago. That car's been stuck there. I'm assuming that's not going to be able to get moved. It's in a very dangerous position. It's a real shame for him as well, unfortunately. But still, Cortese's lead has been somewhat dwindled away as Devil Bevin now tries to mount an assault in second, because of course it was Lolin Fox's lead who was all over the place and really dominating early on, and now unfortunately that's gone. It's allowed for these two to duel amongst themselves for the ultimate prize. And don't forget, we've got Lazarus 16 and King Dio in that ever-growing battle for third position, which now includes all the way back to potentially Luke Sky 80. If he can get his groove on very shortly, he won't be too far adrift of these guys. And still keeping an eye on this circuit, very undulating. I'd say would be the word for it, as Dio tries to gain a bit of an advantage on Lazarus. It's so difficult to do. The track very difficult to conquer indeed. And Dio, I think, clipped a catch fence there once again. That's the second time he's done that now in as many laps, I think. With a quick left-hander, and look how much track space you have now. And it's all up to King Dio to try and maybe pull a move on the inside, but still not quite there just yet, despite his very finest efforts. It's all about this main straight now. These next couple of corners, which bring you onto the main pit straight, is where he's going to try and come into his own. So very easy on the left-hander there, trying to take a little bit more throttle. He's come out wider, almost too wide again, hitting the fence, and Dio, that's going to cost him time. So it's the difference between aggressive and maybe just a bit too aggressive, or maybe naivety when it comes to how hard you push this car. But as they make their way over the start-finish line once again then to end lap number 4 out of the 16 here today. B13 lines up behind them in 5th, 6th is Luke Sky 80. Bomber still not that far adrift, Tomcat in 8th. Litos battling with Gravity for 9th and 10th. RT Mets in 11th, with Belinas out of the race, along with Mr. PA in P12. As we try and admire what's going on in that midfield still, because the two groups have almost split now. Lazarus and King Dio have formed pretty much their own little duel between them. They're only separated by about 1.5 seconds on average, and then B1386's crew are a further couple of seconds behind them. And that crew, of course, involving himself in P5, Luke Sky and Kappa Bomber. And we have Tomcat, Gravity, Litos. Now I want to watch Gravity, the man who was involved in the earlier incident, who was about 5th position, I believe, going off the grid into the first few corners. And a bit of a warning there as Gravity goes wide again, but it's all going to be a case now, I think, who can just get the most out of this circuit. It's really not a case of drivers versus drivers. It's all about who can conquer possibly one of the most difficult circuits that Simraceway has to offer. It's not exactly a walk in the park. It never will be. And this car, whilst you can push it a little bit harder due to the amount of grip levels that Evo possesses, it still does not make this an easy task at all. As many drivers are finding out right now, it's all about a case of how much you're willing to push, how much do you want to put on the line. So now we just try and maybe mark what's going on, as we say, for P3, P4, the Lazarus Dyer battle we were speaking of, maybe about to intensify just a little as the two cars start to draw closer and closer now. Lazarus really starting to apply the pressure on his competitor in P3. Apologies there for what seems to be a little bit of technical delay. I've got a complete black screen for a moment, which is never handy, but one man who does not have a black screen will be Lazarus, as he launches that car up the inside and makes that move complete. So, big move there for the man in third position. And King Dio maybe falling victim there to B1386 in P5. He wouldn't like to, but it's definitely a possibility. Dio's really got to use Lazarus through this next part of the circuit to pull away from B13. If not pass, just at least be dragged along to the next car. And King Dio's got other ideas though. He tries to have a look to the inside. Lazarus showing his teeth essentially and saying not today, kicking up a fuss. Not going to make this easy for King Dio at all. Luke Sky 6th, defending very heavily there actually from Kappa Bomber in 7th. Again, another driver looking to rectify mistakes in his earlier antics. And now just trying to maybe pull to the inside. Still not quite there yet though, but he's got a fantastic run going in towards the first corner. He's on the inside line. He's the faster of the two Evos. And it should be a case of sign, seal, deliver. But Luke Sky challenges. Exciting action there as the two are side by side. And Luke Sky somehow holds on around the outside line. Brilliant stuff. And that's going to take some very, very sturdy courage moments there, because that was not exactly the easiest thing to do in the world, especially through a corner as tight as that one. And now to the inside, still Kappa almost struggling, it looks like, to be able to try and get this move done. Gravity, meanwhile, the man who was caught in a bit of a muddle earlier on is now back up into 8th position, but still with a long mountain to climb. And that duel up in front could very well be succumbed to 5 cars as Lazarus tries to repass King Dio. And he's got on the outside, that means to be on the inside, going in towards that tricky left-hander at B3. And I don't think right now it's just being able to make it stick. Watch what B1386 can do. Not quite there yet. A big defensive manoeuvre from King Dio. He may come out deep. Watch the catch fence. Very close. The car's squirming all over the place. And now Lazarus is essentially defending from B1386 because he almost got a brilliant run. So again, round the outside goes Dio, defending exactly like Lazarus did to him a few laps previous. But now I've got to be very cautious of a counter-attack, so just never know with these cars where the next move's going to come from, as Kappa Bomber and Luke Sky, I'm still pretty sure, are involved in World War III right now back there. And into the hairpin, just again watching these two leaders, Devil Bevan and G Cortese, only separated now by 7 seconds. It is coming down. There's still definite time, I think, for these guys to draw their battle on. We're not even halfway through the race yet. There's still a long way to go before we hit the checkered flag. So the two leaders now 18 seconds in front of the squabble behind, and it really is a squabble as Lazarus again defends his way, and he's got himself back through now. So the two red Evos side by side. Flash of the lights there, I think it must have been from B13 and Dio. Dio's already dropped back again now down to P5. Although he's gone round the outside of B13 there, and that's worked wonders for him in P4. But look at the amount of cars catching now. It's a gaggle of 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 cars who are currently involved in this absolute tussle for power. And Dyer maybe made a bit of an error there. He's going to try and come back at B13. Otherwise, Kappa Bomber could Kappa Bomb attack on him. And is he going to go to the inside or no? Of course, he'll be following the outside line going into the next corner. If he chose that, he's got to play this quite cautiously. Oh, and a big wobble there from Kappa Bomber also as he come out again. That catch fence is living up to the name. It's catching, if you figure the pun, a lot of people out today. I think they realise that it's going to be that deadly, but you take a little bit too much speed like this course almost eggs you onto, then you're going to be in the walls at some point or another. So just behind Dio, Gravity up to P6 on his recovery race right now. So next up on his list is Dio, and the one man who this really has helped this entire squabble has got to be Gravity. He was down to 9th, he's now pushed his way back through, and all the cars he needs to pass are right there, and he goes right round the outside of the two drifting red Evos. And that may just allow Gravity to take P4. He's on the outside of Lazarus. B13 not happy, thinking he got attached, but Gravity is up into 4th position. A monstrous manoeuvre from the man who's clawed his way back through this field. Definitely a contender for driver of the afternoon. There's still a lot can happen in the second half of this race. He's got to defend now very bravely from the cars that follow him. Brake very heavily there, bit of a lock up also, but nothing he should be too worried about, or anxious about at least. That gaggle of cars gets ever more intense. They all really do start to squabble for position, because Kappa Bomber in 7th position just goes a bit too tight there, and King Dio almost hit the rear end. There's a flash of the lights, maybe a show of unappreciation from the red Evo X belonging to King Dio. Can't quite get the pass through there either, despite his most impressive efforts. To the inside, look at B13 now on Luke Sky. This is over P6 and P5. B13 to the inside, he's got a little bit of a nift. That left-hander at turn number 1, they're going to push each other tight, but I think he's going to lose out ultimately. Indeed he is, and now King Dio overtakes him, so poor B13 now back down to 8th position. Oh, Dio's off! King Dio's lost a wheel, and that is the front left wheel has gone completely off the car. Oh, the answer is, where is it? I'm assuming the wheel must have been left in the fence somewhere along the lines. It's certainly not on the circuit. By the way, that is a big moment indeed, and Dio will not be continuing this race. Yellow flags are out. King Dio is in a very bad way right now when you look at that car. And that is a real shame as well. He had a lot of potential going into that battle. Everything he needed was on a silver platter. He just had to bide his time. And before putting a napkin on, he just went to take one massive bite, and it turns out the food may have been poisoned. So he joins our list of retirees, including Lolin Fox, PA, Belinas, Litos, and of course King Dio as well. Luke Sky also has lost a wheel. Luke Sky in 9th has lost the same wheel, bizarrely enough. The front left wheel of the Evolution X. I'm not too sure if it's maybe loosely attached on a lot of these cars, or if they both hit a very unfortunate strike of coincidence. But even so, 2 retirements now, and he's Kappa Bomber battling away with RT Mets. Now Bomber's a long way back compared to where we all thought he was, so I'm assuming there must have been some contact there involving him. As Gravity tries to go to the inside there of Lazarus. That's over third now. All these consequences playing out extremely nicely. B13 saying that this is crazy in his own words. And indeed, you can't really fault him there. An incredible race so far. And the best players who still with 6 laps to go as Gravity round the outside. And it's a very difficult move to try and accomplish. He's going to cut back underneath, and Lazarus is not dissimilar to that move. He knows exactly where it's come from. In fact, I think he's used it many a time himself. Gravity going to have to think a little further outside the box when it comes to that one. And now Gravity tries to pull back to the inside again. Not quite, not yet. He's got a fantastic draft all over Lazarus and now moves to the inside. This could be the pass we're waiting for. Very tight, right angled corner, and Lazarus makes the most of it. There's Gravity now still trying to power his way round the outside. He's almost there, isn't he? But he's going to hit the fence. I'm amazed, in all honesty. In fact, I'm astonished that no one's caught that catch fence yet there. You just saw Lazarus and Gravity pass through. That one, in that chicane, there's no anti-cut strips, there's no tyres to stop you. It is just catch fence and sand, and then look at that Gravity, a very opportunistic move on the inside. And that may just seal in the position for a little while. Over the line he goes. Yeah, Gravity definitely confirmed his stake there in P3. We still got a few more laps to go as Lazarus will try and reclaim that and get himself back on the third step of the podium. The two leaders separated at this stage by 7.6 seconds. We thought that this gap was going to increase as time's gone on. Indeed it has. And the two that were battling long ago have now been separated. It's all about Cortese just trying to attack the circuit and make sure he brings that car home with maximum points. As Lazarus now tries to come back at Gravity to no success though. He's got a long way to go until he hits the most inviting part of the circuit to overtake on. And the undulating course once again living up to the expectation. I've just noticed Gravity does not have a rear spoiler unless I'm seeing things. Gravity's rear spoiler has seemingly disappeared. It wouldn't surprise me if that was from the incident earlier on. It was quite a nasty shunt he endured. And now through the left-hander, this is where Lazarus has got to try and capitalise if he wants any chance at all of going back into this race. This is going to be it. They're going to have 4 laps to go this time by, and whilst he may have safely secured 4th at this rate, he would love to get himself, wouldn't he, on the top step of the podium. Or at least a 3rd step. That's going to be his main goal for today. B13, 17 seconds behind these guys, watching on. That's a long way back as well, especially considering how close that start-finish straight really is. Yeah, 19.9 it was when they crossed the line. Tomcat P6, another 16 seconds back. The rest of the field aren't really battling, except our team at Capabon. We've actually lost Lazarus, and now that is extremely worrying indeed. The man in P5. We were watching him battle a few moments ago. Now I don't know what's happened. And our teammate still trying to battle with Kappa Bomber right now as he tries to go around the outside. Very finest efforts right now, just a few more moments to go. Still nothing yet. This round really is the closest battle on the circuit since we've lost. Lazarus 16 then, a quick run through of the order as G Cortese crosses the line to start out number 14 out of 16. Cortese leads from Devil Bevin, Gravity in third, B1386 in P4. Tomcat P5, very good result today there for Tomcat. Could very well be his highest of the championship so far. P6 is our team next. Kappa Bomber P7, chasing very, very aggressively. 8th place is Lazarus 16 and retired. Luke Sky 90, King Dio, Litos, Bellinus and Mr. PA with also to Lolin Fox. So it's all about Cortese just trying to maintain his momentum he's had all afternoon. He's only 8 seconds in front of Devil Bevin, but 8 seconds around this circuit and passing around this circuit is going to be, should be suffice for Cortese to come home in the lead. So all eyes are going to be focused on the battle with Kappa Bomber and RT Mets. Those guys 2.7 seconds apart, a 2:01.3 last time with Kappa and a 1:59.8 from RT Mets. So Mets really in control at this stage.
Sobretudo com este epicentro.
Still, I think a little bit too much now. Our team has had a sudden surge of pace, isn't he? It'll be interesting to see what his lap time will be as they go over the timing line next time. Of course, that will bring them onto the penultimate lap of the race as well. So if he does want to get himself involved in the action, there's Kappa Bomber. It's got to be right about now. He's going to start running out of time here around Area 51 before these cars get sucked back into their spaceships and away for another couple of weeks. Gravity over the line in that spoilerless Evo is looking pretty fine out there at the moment, it's got to be said. Yeah, it hasn't exactly been the easiest of days for Gravity. And in my opinion, I'd say Gravity has got to be the driver of the afternoon if he can finish in that position. He had a terrible start, in fact. He started off quite nicely, got himself a couple of laps in. A huge incident, which involved about 4 or 5 different Evos. And Gravity had to claw his way back through the field without that rear wing. He was as low as 9th. He's now in with a podium shout. So Gravity definitely deserves Driver of the Day award here today. It was a beautiful performance to watch. It was cool, calm and collected. We've seen drivers all afternoon making passes that have been too risky or ended in collisions, maybe their own cars hitting the catch fence. Gravity timed every one absolutely perfectly, and the execution was just brilliant. So Gravity has earned Driver of the Day today, providing he finishes where he is. Otherwise, it would just possibly be the most heartbreaking result we could see. But as Cortese makes his way through the last couple of corners, he'll be on to its final lap of the race in just a few moments' time. And as Cortese makes his way over the start-finish line now, let's compare his lap time to what Devil Bevin in second place can do. So it's a 1:56.548 for the race leader, who inherited the lead after the suspicious disconnection of Lolin Fox. The pole sitter had a brilliant qualifying, didn't he? Looked absolutely in tip-top form. This wasn't to be, but Devil Bevin a 1:59.4, so approximately 3 seconds slower than the race leader. Gravity goes over the line now Remember, a 1:59.4 for Devil Bevin and a 1:56.8, but it's too little too late, I think, for Gravity, despite a very quick lap with that considerably less aerodynamically efficient Mitsubishi. Has not done a bad job at all. B13 crosses in 4th, Tomcat P5, as we say, good solid result there for Tom. Our team at Kappa Bomber 6th and 7th, they round out the rest.
This is the final lap. Keep it going.
So, quick technical hitch there, but as Cortese makes his way through the final few corners once again, it has been a simply remarkable performance for him today, consistent throughout, he's never put a foot wrong, and it's all been just plain sailing from there, isn't it? A little bit of showboating towards the end there with a bit of a drift. You can see how happy he is in the way now he's just cruising around this very demanding circuit. And now he weaves an elation now. He knows he's won the race. Cortese down the main straight. A great drive is rewarded with a great victory. G Cortese is the winner for the round number 2 of the AWD Championship. Totals the car at the end. Not a bad shout at all there. Very good job. Second is Devil Bevin. He'll be most delighted with that one. A very strong performance. And there comes driver of the afternoon then. Despite all odds, Gravity, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant there for Gravity. He takes a 3rd step on the podium, followed by B13. Tomcat 458 will be in P5. And P6 and 7 still yet to be decided out of RTX and Kappa Bomber. There still could be a late change there. But I don't think there will be. No, over the main straight they go. So that is the end of the race. But what a job for G Cortese and for all of our finishers here today. But we right now fly back over to Donington Park for round 3 of the Out of This World Championship. From myself, Liam Jenkins, I will see you very shortly across the sea.